man, we're going to get into my top 10 NFL power rankings, right? So, like I said earlier, if you've seen the intro here, myself and my partner in crime, B Woo, we do a show called Cover Two that is strictly NFL based, right? And it's on every Monday. We'll give you analysis on what happened in the games that happened that week. And right now, we're giving you our predictions of the NFC, and this coming week, we'll give you our AFC predictions as well, who we think will win divisions, who we think will be the wild card teams, and some players to watch as well. So when I was doing my research and kind of seeing that, I said, I think I'll put together a power ranking to see who are the teams that, I think will be starting the season as favorites to kind of make a push for the Super Bowl. Essentially, who are the Super Bowl contenders, man? And it may not really be 10 Super Bowl contenders altogether, but I just, 10's a nice round number. So let's go with 10. And I will start with number 10. This is a NFC team. I picked this team in my NFC predictions to win the NFC North, and it's the Minnesota Vikings, man. I think they have some talent. I love Justin Jefferson. They got a pretty good, decent defense. Kirk Cousins kind of is what he is, man. I mean, he's a decent quarterback. He's decent. He's not elite. He's not going to, wow you. But in the division they're in and in the NFC and the conference they're in, they got a good shot to kind of make a run and win the division with their talent alone and be able to do that. So that's why they're my number 10 team. My number 9 team, I am going to be honest with you. I kind of wrestle with this if they should be in my top 10 or not, but I'm going to give the future Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers, the benefit of the doubt and say they are the number 9 team. Now, I know a lot of people probably will have them higher than this just based on that, but Aaron Rodgers did have a tough season last year. He is an older quarterback at this point, man. And what we've seen from, Tom Brady last year, what we saw from Peyton Manning, what you see from any quarterback that kind of holds on to it for too long, it goes quickly. So I'm hedging my bets on this to say that maybe it was just a little hiccup season last year for Aaron Rodgers, and he's not totally done as a quarterback that can take you places, because the Jets have a lot of talent as well. Garrett Wilson, second-year wide receiver. He's a beast. They got Sauce Gardner on defense, a great defensive line. They got everything they need. They picked up Dalvin Cook recently as well, so they're putting every single piece together. They just needed a quarterback, right? Zach Wilson was their quarterback. They had Mike White. People were calling for Mike White to be the starting quarterback. They ended up with Aaron Rodgers, so they're my number 9 team. Number 8, Jacksonville Jaguars. You're seeing that my list will probably be a lot heavy on the AFC teams because I think the AFC is such a tough conference with a lot of good teams in it. NFC's wide open. Anything can happen. I picked Jacksonville. They won their division last year. Trevor Lawrence kind of came into his own. They won a playoff game that they probably shouldn't have won. Full disclosure, I was watching that game. I fell asleep. I not fell asleep. The game was a blowout. So I said, I'm cutting this off when the Chargers and Jaguars were playing in that first quarter, and everything was going wrong for Jacksonville. And I woke up the next morning and couldn't believe that Jacksonville had won that game and advanced in the playoffs. So I think Trevor Lawrence and that team down there has an opportunity to make some noise. Now, I don't think they'll be a Super Bowl contender, but I got them at number 8 on my power ranking. My number 17, Miami Dolphins. This is based on the health of their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, right? Tua has a lot of talent, but the head injuries, of course, scare me. He had a rough year last year with that. I guess as far as we know, maybe he suffered one official head injury or concussion, but it looks like he could have suffered 2 or 3 of them. And, it's a very dangerous situation. People were calling for this guy maybe to retire. This is strictly based on football and on-field performance, though. So if they stay healthy, I like them better than the Jets in that division. And I think with Tyreek Hill and Waddle and, all the weapons that they have there, and Tua showed some flashes before he got hurt. They were on the roll and they were playing great. I like the coach, McDowell Mike. Looks like logic a little bit, but hey, whatever, man. Seems like he can coach offensive football pretty well. Even though he's a 49er guy, he's a Shanahan guy. I give him the benefit of the doubt, right? So I got them at number 7. It'll be interesting to see what they do. My number 16, the Dallas Cowboys. That's where we kind of run out of NFC teams. We got one more NFC team in this ranking for my top 10, but Dallas, they're my second NFC team that I have in here. And I think, like I said, they have the talent. Dak just has to take care of the football. Can't fumble it, can't throw it to the other team. Now they have Mike McCarthy, who's calling the offense this year, not Kellen Moore. So they got Mike McCarthy. He's going to have to really step up as a play caller and as the head coach and time management and all that stuff, and make sure that these guys are in the right place. I'm banking on Michael Parsons. He's one of my players to watch. Being Defensive Player of the Year this year, taking it to an even higher level. And that defense with Stephon Diggs, and they also have they added Gilmore as well. So good corners. I mean, they got a very talented team, man. They got the little running back Deuce, the rookie who's coming out, Pollard, who's coming off an injury, still a good running back as well. Wound up taking that job from Zeke. I think the Cowboys have a chance. Now I'm look at me being silly here. I said Cowboy fans always say, "Oh, the Cowboys, this is our year." I'm saying they got a chance too. They're at number 6 in my power rankings, but I had to put them at number 6 because I just can't trust them all the way. Now we get into the top 5, man. Number 5. Buffalo Bills, man. This team's window has been open. We've thought that they were going to be the team to get it done. Great quarterback, right? We all feel like he is maybe the second best quarterback behind one Mr. Patrick Mahomes. They've had some epic battles in the playoffs, but they lose to the Bengals last year in the playoffs in the home game. I think the jury's out on them, and to me, maybe the Jets or Miami could overtake them in that division. Who knows? And the AFC East is a very tough division, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt too. They got some strife between the wide receiver and the star wide receiver, and I guess the team. He's looking to get out of their Diggs right now, so interesting to see how their season will play out. Do we still think, have they lost a little bit of their luster? Haven't heard a lot of people saying that they're going to overtake the Chiefs this year. Hear a lot of Cincinnati Bengals love now, which good transition there, segue. That's my number 4 team, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow missed the preseason and training camp with an injury, but he should be back. They are super talented as well on offense. Can they protect Joe Burrow is the question, though. That's why they're at number 4 for me. And some people I've seen a lot of people have them as number 2 or maybe even higher, number 3 or number 2. But my power ranking, they're number 4. I do think Joe Burrow is just a guy who's a winner, man. Joe Cool, as I call him. He's the coolest thing, this side of the Mississippi. I love what Joe Burrow is as a quarterback. I love Chase. I love the guys that they have on that offense. Joe Mixon, is a decent running back as well. But can they protect Joe Burrow enough? And will their defense step up and continue to grow as well? That's the thing. They're the team that's beaten Kansas City in Kansas City before in the playoffs. They've done it. So, besides Tom Brady, Joe Burrow is the only other guy that can have that claim to fame. I think they have a good shot at it, but I don't even think they're going to – well, I'll hold it off. I'll just say for my power rankings, because I don't want to get ahead of myself as far as my AFC predictions. But my number 3 team is also in the AFC North. It's the Baltimore Ravens, man. I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. I love Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson now will have a chance to have this offense a little bit more open. He can throw it. He can run it. They've given him some weapons, man. You give him a running back. You give him hopefully a ODB now, Odell Beckham, who is healthy and can recapture some of the magic that he's had previously in his career. If they can do that, that's going to be a very scary team, man. Very, very scary team. So I think Baltimore is always going to play good defense. And you got a quarterback who's been an MVP, who's done some great things. They just got to put it together in the playoffs. But this is the start of the season power ranking. So I may revisit this in the middle of the season or check them back out and let you know where the power rankings are. It's like we're doing this like it's a college thing now, the rankings. So not necessarily saying that this is where they'll end up at the end of the year, but today, before kickoff starts on September 7th for the start of the year, this is where I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. Number 2, my new team, the team after my heart, right? Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, great young quarterback, got paid this year as well, just like Lamar Jackson. You got all the weapons in the world offensively. Defensively, they keep getting better. You got Warwick on the outside, Nakobe Dean, all these guys on defense. Jalen Carter, who they picked up. Darius Slay, they were talking about trading him. Darius Slay ends up staying. So great secondary. Just all three phases of the defense, they're good. They got a great offense. They have everything. They fumble, maybe a fumble six, pick six, whatever you want to call it. Fumble recovery away from being world champs last year. So, Super Bowl champions. I think the only thing that scares me with them, and I said this in my preview, which this is just me kind of, I guess, having intuition and not necessarily looking at the talent and their ability, is just teams have Super Bowl hangovers when you lose a game like that. That final drive going down there, and there's a penalty call, holding penalty that, ends up letting Kansas City win the championship. Can they get over that is the question. I think they're young enough and good enough to get over it, but we've seen this happen so many times to teams that go to the Super Bowl and the next year they fall off. Will they have the same health? That's my concern as well. But starting today, I think they're the second best team in the league right now. And that leaves us with number one, the bad man, Patrick Mahomes. How can you not put him number one, man? You got a great coach in Andy Reid. They lost Eric Bieniemy, but Andy Reid is still at the helm, so nothing to fear there. They got a good defense. No Chris Jones is holding out, but I think hopefully he'll be back at some point in the season. You gotta, as long as Patrick Mahomes, it's almost like when Tom Brady was in the league with the Patriots. As long as he was there, you had to say the Patriots were going to have the best shot at winning the Super Bowl, man. It's like when you got a Tiger Woods in golf. Do you take him or the field? It's like when you got a Michael Jordan in basketball. You just pencil in that team to be the team to beat, and Steph Curry and the Warriors and KD when they had their run. This is what Patrick Mahomes is becoming in the NFL now. You pencil it in and say, hey, until somebody knocks these guys off, they're the number one team. And that's what I've done with my power rankings. They are the number one team, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, until someone can prove differently, man. I think the Eagles have a shot at that. They gave them a great fight. In the AFC, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, they'll all be jockeying for position to get at them as well. But that's my top 10 power rankings right now in the NFL. At the start of the season, like I said, I got the right to change this during the season due to injuries. We'll take this thing maybe quarter by quarter, the first 4 games, and then we'll go to the next 4 and the next 4. And they messed up my perfect quarter because they added a game 17. So we'll look at the last 5 after that. But yeah, that's my power ranking so far, man. To recap, number 10, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 9, New York Jets. Number 8, Jacksonville Jaguars. The number 17, the Miami Dolphins. Number 6, Dallas Cowboys. Number 5, Buffalo Bills. Number 4, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 3, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. And number 1, the bad man himself, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.